Yeah, I had a band, and I still play with the bass player when we can, called the Skirts, and we played the punk venues and things like that. Like, we used to have, it was underneath the Pussycat Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, called the Mask. And the Go-Go's were on one side of us and the Motels the other, and the Go-Go's at that point were really punk. They weren't like they were when they came out. They were just really, really, really punk. And it was fun playing back then. We played like Madame Wong's and Palm Springs, their weekend break with the Plimsolls and Sparks and a bunch of bands like that. The Bangles, and we recorded, which I love. I love recording. Playing, I always get scared, but I play like, I've represented Aria guitars before, and I have an SG, and we've played a couple conventions and a couple clubs in Fort Lauderdale.
That's fantastic. So you're moving forward with music. Do you have any projects film-wise in the works coming up maybe that you would like to share some information, or do you want to keep some top secret?
Oh. Well, I've got something coming up that I'm doing with Joe Hollow, who's becoming a name now. He just finished Cut, and I did Bloodstruck with them, and I'm producing, and I'm in a film called Disciples, which it looks like Sybil Danning wants to be in, and Ed Neal I got, and a bunch of other people, Camden Toy. So it's a very mythical. We've got actually a castle we're going to film at in the Carolinas.
I was just wondering if you've seen any actresses of today that are doing the same thing, or any ones in particular that you like?
I haven't seen any really doing the same thing because things have changed so much. I've noticed like so many people saying they're the new Scream Queen, but I've never seen them in anything. That's the weird part. It's like they do a $25 movie and they say they're a Scream Queen. And it's like you kind of have to pay your dues, I think, to get there. But right now I can't think of anybody that I can say is a new Scream Queen. Can you think of somebody, or? I mean, I can't think of anyone.
I think when I hear Scream Queen, I think one name, Linnea Quigley.
Oh, you're sweet.
It's true. It is true. 100%. First and foremost, that's why they call you the Queen.
I think I embraced it. Everybody else at that time didn't want to embrace being in horror because the studios and regular TV people and movie people, there was a stigma attached to it. And they all didn't want to embrace any type of nudity or any type of Scream Queen type of thing, and I embraced it. I said, I love it. You know, so others just shunned it.
We love to.
Oh, thank you.
I really love your workout video, and I was wondering if you still have the same regiment in working out as you did back in the day.
Oh man, I wish I did. When I was in LA, I was working out a lot more. In Florida, I don't as much because it's just too hot. But like in LA, I would be running in the mountains. That's like one of my favorite things with my dogs and stuff, like running. And I've got to, and doing yoga and getting back into it. It's like I've got to get back into doing it. And I plan on moving back to LA real soon. So it's like I want to get back into running and doing that, but where I'm at, it's just way too hot. It's miserable. But I do swim and things like that.
You can move to Canada as well. It's freezing here all the time.
Yeah, I like Canada too. I love Canada. I mean, the people are much better, and they are. People actually smile here. Yeah. Very nice.
How was it to work with Garner Hansen in Hollywood Chainsaw Hooker?
Oh wow, I was like so excited because I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I was really excited when I heard I was going to be working with him. I was actually kind of scared, and he was like the nicest guy. In fact, my battery went dead the first day, and he helped start my car and did all this, but I was intimidated, and he's, you know, a big guy, and he ended up being the sweetest guy, and I told him, I said, you know, you've been in Maine, and if you start doing conventions, people would like line up, and he's like, really? Why would they? I've only done this one thing. And now he's like doing all the conventions. So it's like, he had no idea people loved him that much. He thought, you know, he was just not really known.
You do quite a few conventions. When did you realize the extent of your fan base? I mean, did you spoke to one actress once who literally said she typed her name into Google and she had hit her that she could actually, you know, that she had this crazy fan base, and she sort of came out of hiding. So when was that moment for you when you realized how, you know, iconic you are?
Well, it was before computers and stuff, but I went to my first Fangoria convention. That was the very first convention I'd ever gone to in LA. And all of a sudden people started coming up to me, and I got so scared I went and hid in the bathroom for a while because, you know, I am shy a lot, and it just freaked me out that people would even care to have my autograph or to take a picture with me. I went and I just hid in there, and I was like, okay, you know, people actually, because I thought, I'm going to get there, and I'm going to be so embarrassed, nobody's going to come up to my table, nobody's going to want to talk to me, and it's going to be so embarrassing. And so it was the opposite.
Yeah.
And that's how I knew.
So they just recently did a reality TV show. I don't know if you noticed, it was a Scream Queens reality show. They picked out Scream Queens, they threw them through different situations. They had lots of guests on it. And I don't think it was very followed or successful or something. So you moved back to LA, and you're going to open up Scream Queen training camp. What do you put your girls through? What are they gonna? Put them through the rails? You know, like what are you gonna do to them to get them in the shape to do what you do?
Legal things.
Legal things, okay, yes, right.
No. Just
I'll make
how
them,
it goes.
I'll make them have to scream, like, you know, the different screams, like the scream where your boyfriend's head gets chopped off, the scream where giant mutant rats attack you, the scream where, you're going to be attacked with an axe, so that they would learn there's different screams, you know, and different moments and pauses and things like that, you know, like, you know, you just like have to be like, you know, one scream, your boyfriend's head gets chopped off would be more like, ah! You know, and like another scream where the mutant rats are after you would be like, and I'm sure the orchestra loves this. And then, you know, the one where, like, you're going to have your head chopped off. So you're going to have to, like, have these, you know, not just monotone screaming. And then, of course, you know, doing a little bit of track and field.
Take them up into the mountains.
Yeah, and don't ever eat before running scenes. Oh my God, that's a no-no. I did that once on graduation day and ended up throwing up. So when you have a running scene from, you know, they're going to run you to death with all these angles and stuff, don't eat beforehand, at least a lot.
It's a pretty good list.
Yes.
And all those screams were distinctly different.
Yeah, right.
Thoroughly impressed. Wow. Thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with me and all of us.
Again, on behalf of Shockstock, I'd like to thank you, Linnea Quigley.
Oh, well, thank you.
And
It's
also
nice.
Lianne Spiderbaby of Fangoria. Thank you again for taking part in this. And thank you for watching.